Hi guys, I'm here with Riaz Shaik from SA Home Loans. He is our consultant of choice when it comes to submitting deals to SA Home Loans. And today I just want to chat a little bit with you, Riaz, about how we work together between Phoenix and SA Home Loans. One of the things I do love about SA Home Loans is I can submit a deal and you can tell me upfront, before it goes to credit, what the LTV restriction is.
Correct,
Yeah.
So, firstly, thanks so much, Hannah, for having me. It's a great opportunity. It's lovely being here. And yeah, like you said, we've been working together for a while, so it's only been a pleasure. So thank you once again. Just to touch on that, so basically, if I get a deal in from you guys, I'll obviously do a quick credit check on the client, and upfront, we've got an internal scorecard that gives us an LTV based on the client score. So, for example, if you send me a deal and a client score meets our criteria, I can tell you upfront, guys, based on the scoring, we can offer you 80%, 90 or 100, or we can't even do anything. Remember, that's only based on scoring. It still has to go to credit for the full assessment, obviously.
Absolutely.
But that also upfront, I can just have a quick look and say, look, affordability is short, we cannot do anything, or we can actually still motivate it and try and see how far we can get to that.
Yeah. And it's so handy because it's super quick. Like when you're submitting a deal, it's all done in 2 days.
Yeah.
Our service level agreement with the banks is 48 hours.
Okay.
And I'd rather not send the deal to credit if we know that there's an LTV restriction of 80% and we've already got a 90% elsewhere.
100%.
It's sort of like we need to understand where to commit our resources and our time. And you guys give us that up front, which is great. So when you say, yeah, we can do 100%, then we go hammer and tong at SA Home Loans.
Yeah, and it saves time on our side as well, because we don't want to just submit a deal for the sake of submitting it. But if the client doesn't have a deposit, obviously, it's no use submitting it. We try and we obviously want to assist every client in every way possible. But if it's not going to work, then we rather wait a while, get him rehabilitated or get himself sorted out, and then look further in the future with that client. And with the current clients, yeah, I generally prefer submitting something that I know that's going to work.
Yeah, and you're pretty quick. I don't think it's been more than a couple of hours that we get a response from you, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic. I love what I do, and I'm behind my desk. Apart from today, I'm mostly behind my desk, and then I've got a good admin team as well. That's just when I'm not around.
Sure, admin's everything, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the other types of applicants that you guys do well is government workers. It's quite often that I'll submit to all 4 banks and get declines, and then once I go to SA Home Loans, you give me 100% approval.
Yeah.
So we cannot forget about you guys when it comes to government workers.
Yep.
That is where your specialty is, I would say.
That's we love government workers.
Yep.
So the thing with government employees is that we've got a special criteria for them. Obviously, we're in partnership with the government, so that's what sets us apart. I think we are the preferred lender for government employees. I can safely say that. The criteria in terms of credit scoring, I would say leniency in terms of affordability is a lot lower than your normal client. So they to get a 100% loan, being a government employee, the scoring has to be minimal. So that's a nice thing. Provided they do a salary stop order. Yeah,
and I see you give them quite a nice rate discount when they do the salary stop order, up to 0.5%.
Correct, yeah. So it's actually, so a government employee can get up to 1% on the interest rate. Like I say, provided he does a salary stop order for us.
1%?
1%.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes you extremely competitive.
Definitely, definitely, yes. And also, just on that, we offer a 50% discount on the bond registration fees as well on that side.
Excellent. And finally, Riaz, you guys are very good with self-employed, and I think it's because you actually assess it holistically on a case-by-case basis. Tell us how you would assess a self-employed application once it comes in.
Yeah, self-employed seem to be tricky, but it's actually not. You just basically need to understand the client's business, the type of business he's running. Obviously, every self-employed is different, so we look at the financials, we look at the type of business he's in. And we try to paint a picture, or I try to paint a picture for our credit department. And if I'm struggling to get any joy there, I always refer it back to the client and the auditor or the bookkeeper, get the information that we require, and obviously sit down and try and paint a better picture.
And that's so important, because it's actually scary and sad how many self-employeds would get declined just because of the way they've presented it to the banks.
Correct, yeah.
And you need to speak to the accountant as well to understand the business.
Yeah. So I always, I love speaking to my self-employed clients. I need to understand. If I don't understand their business, how a credit gonna understand it. So I try to get a proper background on the self-employed client, understanding the line of business it is. Like many of the times, just to give you an example, Hannah, it will be a cash business. The type of business that he's got, it's a cash business. Yet we don't see it on the bank statements.
It's a difficult one.
It's a tricky one. So we'll try and prove that because it's a cash business. Look at the financials. This is where it's been accounted for, and things like that.
Yeah. Just one last question, Riaz. I know that most people think that SA Home Loans don't do the 105% home loans, which you don't. But what you do have is a transfer assist loan product. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Fantastic product, guys. So transfer assist basically. So just upfront, we offer up to 100% across the board, except self-employed and foreign clients. So even if a client's got an 80% or 90% loan with us, we can still offer up to 100,000 Rand in transfer fees. So how that works is, it's a complete separate application for the fees, a complete separate installment from the bond. Depending on the affordability on the client's scoring, we can obviously give a maximum. That gets paid during the registration process. Obviously, the client will then take that funds and pay the attorney's fees. And the most important thing, it's not going to impact his application further down the line, because we've already done a pre-qualification or pre-check on him.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Yes, and so we're not going to pull the loan back, provided he hasn't taken out any further loans.
Okay.
Apart from this one.
That's good to know. I'm sure we'll be using that product.
Definitely, I use it a lot. Because unfortunately not everyone's got fees or deposits lying around, and that's a fantastic product.
Okay. All right, Riaz, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think it's time to get back to the desk and
Definitely,
do some deals.
definitely. Thank you for the opportunity once again, and I look forward to seeing you guys more and more often.
Cheers.
Yes.